System updated.
We will dance together.
The future of money is here. Feels good.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Oke guys, let's go. Selamat malam semuanya. Guys, kalian milih siapa guys? Kalian milih Pepperex atau kalian milih Sentinel? Kalian milih siapa guys? Wolf terlalu kuat. Jujur ya. Gua kaget. Wolf keras banget, Pak. Dua-duanya. Guys. Gua bingung, guys. Gua milih yang mana ini? Apakah gue harus memilih Pepperex atau gue milih Sentinel? Gue pilih siapa guys? Pepperex atau Sentinel? Jujur ya. Gue tuh pengen ngelihat Pepperex menang. Jujur, gue pengen lihat Pepperex menang. Cuman dalam hati gue ya, kok gue punya feeling Sentinel menang ya. Tapi balik lagi, gue punya feeling kenapa Sentinel menang itu gara-gara Pepperex 2 game terakhir tuh, last game bagus. Match kedua ke belakang yang pas lawan siapa ya? Itu bahaya banget, Pak. Yang Lotus tuh dari 12-3. Itu bahaya banget, jir. Pepperex aja Sentinel ke barat-baratan kan emang tim barat ya Sentinel, Pak. Lapis aja kalau misalnya Pepperex menang lu buka dah tuh Sentinel. Oh berarti gua pakai baju Sentinel dulu. Yaudah. Kan gua kan lagi bad luck nih hari ini ya. Nah, kita pakai baju Sentinel dulu. Biar Sentinel kalah, guys. Nanti pas Pepperex menang baru kita buka bajunya, guys. Oke? Gitu ya. Kita pakai baju Sentinel dulu. Biar bad luck gitu. Soalnya kan Sentinel udah pernah menang Master nih. Master Javik. Dia udah menang 2 Master deh setahu gua Sentinel. Dan di regionnya dia juara 1. Udah saatnya gak sih Pepperex yang menang Master? Ya gak sih? Pepperex dong, ada Indonya. Iya, kan gua bilang dalam hati gua tuh dukung Pepperex, guys. Makanya Pepperex bajunya di dalam sini, dalam hati gue. Cuman kenapa gue pakai baju Sentinel sekarang? Gue tuh lagi bad luck, guys. Beneran lagi bad luck. Lagi bau, main Valorant bau. Otak gue nggak jalan. Terus tadi ya banyak ente-nya hari ini. Gua rasa ya, gue pakai baju Sentinel nih bakal ngebawa Sentinel turun ke lower bracket, guys. Ya nggak sih? Ya nggak sih? Gue udah siap sih, gue udah siap. Semoga PaperX menang nih. Gue pakai baju Sentinel biar kersnya ke Sentinel. Tadi aja KD gue last game nih, gue kasih lihat nih. KD gue di Valorant 13. Dalam Feng Shui-nya Cina, 13 itu angka sial, guys. Serius. 13 angka sial, udah saatnya gue pakai baju Sentinel biar sialnya ke sana. Dan PaperX lanjut menang di upper bracket. Oke, setuju ya. Aman ya.
Yeah, Potter was right. I mean, Potter might be based. Who knows? I mean, of course she is. Might be. In any case, though, folks, let's go ahead and get into this matchup and talk about PaperX. Now, look, folks, they look shaky when they played in that Liquid series, without a doubt. But then they came back, and I thought that G2 had this one. Mimi, we come from Americas. We're pretty confident in our boys, but instead it was PaperX, and the train wasn't stopping.
Yeah, PaperX is really good. I was especially impressed with their post plans. I think early in that series they made quite a few mistakes. They threw away a couple rounds, but in the second half of both these games, the way they were playing super deep in their
pakai dua baju Ju, pakai gua dua baju nih, ngak, lihat ngak.
They were constantly getting shut down, and on top of
let's
that,
go.
individual performances.
Santai. Harap santai, oke? Nyantai, guys. Nanti pas PaperX menang, gue buka baju Sentinelnya.
Work around it. I think that the biggest surprises, as you're saying, Mimi, is the expectations that we had, but also the clutch plays time after time.
Yeah, it was
Pakar Feng Shui, yoi.
Constantly. I mean, Patman was having moment after moment, Mimi.
Yeah, he absolutely was. That rookie player has been so good for PaperX. Here's a look at some of those post plans we're talking about, though. And basically all of these rounds, PaperX is so willing to fight forward together, and especially to be in really weird off angles. Most of the time when you're setting up your retake, when you're trying to play with your utility, there's very like default positions that players in the post plan.
Kalau misalnya PaperX bisa bantai G2, berarti bisa bantai Sentinel nggak sih 2-0?
It's so difficult to clear them out,
Yeah,
especially these players are so quick with the aim.
Yeah, they're always ready to shoot, right?
I feel like this is also some of the rounds that PaperX need to succeed. They need to know that they can feel superior to their opponent. But also in that game against G2, we saw some of the classics, right? Of the PaperX maybe peeking where they don't have to, playing a little bit disjointed. It's not only after planting the spike. I think that in Split we had a couple of very good examples that even though you already...
So PaperX jadi second choice. Enggak gitu. Gua pakai baju Sentinel itu biar bad luck gua hari ini itu ke Sentinel, guys. Karena hari ini gue sial banget.
Closer than it was.
Yeah, I mean when you see PaperX work together.
Itu bukan berarti gue pakai baju Sentinel itu gue ngedukung Sentinel. Gue dukungnya ini, guys.
For sure, but also it comes with the territory.
Nih, let's go.
Sometimes they come out the
Santai.
Those risky low percentage plays, but it could have cost them that series with how close the game against G2 was.
Yeah, that's right. Now, folks, there is
Kita lihat, lu kemarin kita lihat lu kemarin dukung RRQ malah kalah. Hey. RRQ kalah itu karena kemarin Swaggy dukung Fnatic, guys. Si Swaggy dukung Fnatic kemarin. Bukan salah gua, Jir.
After matches he would give us like some notes to work on it on individually, especially on CT. I mean on defense. So yeah, I mean it's working out great, and hopefully even though we close out 2-0 today, I'm pretty sure there's some notes that we can work on. So yeah, can't wait to go back and read.
Gil, Davai bilang ini bakal 2-0 lagi, guys. 2-0.
Collaboration from the man himself. Toronto, make some noise and give some love to Coach Mini from PaperX joining us here. Sup, Minnie? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you.
And it's so weird to see you in that jersey.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre. But all right, let's go ahead and talk about this real fast because you heard Devi mentioning the notes and what you've been providing for the team, and we all know you as a prolific coach, obviously as a part of
Coach Mini dari PaperX baru denger.
What is your relationship with the PaperX boys, and how's that all manifesting here? Because it seems to be working.
I mean, it's working, but I can't really take the lion's share of the credit. So, like, I'm a very small piece, like, just to put that out there. When it comes to the defense specifically, they approached me and asked me about defense. My read wasn't actually that the defense was as big a problem as they thought. I think there was, like, a lot of things that we could fix. But for defense specifically, it was about getting Ilya something to play the Euro a bit more like a Euro than a Jet. So that was, I think, the biggest kind of input I had really on their defense.
Okay.
What do you think about
Oh,
what do you think was the
dia bilang Yorunya itu harus main lebih ke arah Yoru gameplay dibanding ke arah Jet gameplay. Sementara yang main Yoru kan belakangan ini something ya. Something tuh main Yoru ya kayak Jet. E-nya tuh ibaratnya dia mikir kayak Dash. Yang dia maksud mungkin Yoru multi kill gitu loh. Yang flash dapat 2 gitu loh. Flash butain musuh yang ngumpet, terus langsung di take space sama PaperX, mungkin gitu kali.
So for today, I can't say that.
No, I'm not gonna ask you.
She's trying to put you on the spot there. She's trying to put you on the spot.
Talk to me, Minnie. It's a big
Gila,
difference, I imagine.
Coachnya Jitu ngasih tips and trick ke PaperX, guys.
What is it like to work with PaperX versus the boys at Fnatic?
I mean, it's so crazy. I've coached like one of the most challenging in the world, and now I get to coach like the complete opposite of just like plus W. So I feel like I've learned just as much from this experience as like I think they did from my input, if not more from me, to be honest.
All right, well, hey, look, man, I mean, you've been doing some good work with the players, regardless of whether the impact is small or not. It is still felt in the server and in the results. And one individual that I do want to talk about and get your thoughts on is Patman, because, Pat had another big game, looking comfortable on the stage. What can you tell me about this guy? Was there anything that you saw?
Patman juga bahaya banget sih, Pak. Sumpah.
Yeah, honestly, when I started working with him,
Wush,
I was a little bit worried
gila.
about him, honestly. Like, his aim is really good. But I don't think he like trusted his ability a little bit.
Okay.
So I think working with him was a lot about trying to make him get confidence,
Yeah.
Remind him that like he doesn't need perfect util every single turn. But he does have that skill. And you can see it in the server, like how mature he seems to be. It's like surprising to me. Like he seems like such a good rock for the team.
It seems like quite a contrast to some of the previous players that PaperX has had, where it's been like all about the aggression, really crazy. From an outside perspective, it seems like he's the guy in a lot of rounds making more of the percentage play, keeping them up in some of these clutch situations where maybe a past PaperX would have thrown it away a little bit.
Tumben gak ngantuk, Bang? Enggak. Soalnya ini matchnya seru, guys. Gua nungguin match ini gitu loh. Kalau misalnya kemarin RRQ menang, itu harusnya mainnya sekarang lawan Genji. Ini aja gue udah nguap. Harusnya RRQ lawan Genji. Jadi hari ini tuh nontonnya 2. RRQ Genji, PaperX, Sentinel. Itu seru sih, Pak.
No, it makes a lot of sense, of course. I mean, Minnie, man, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, buddy. Hey, you want to give me a little prediction before you close it out? How do you think the boys are going to do?
I always predict the boys to lose.
Come on.
So that we then win.
Okay, so, I like that.
Sentinels are going to win today, but PaperX will still win 2-1.
Okay, I love the logic is sound. It all makes sense. It all makes sense when you write it down. All right, Minnie, well, thank you so much for your time. Toronto, give some love to Coach Minnie and the boys over at PaperX. Not only do we have 2 incredible teams going head-to-head in this one, but 2 storied coaches as well. Here's Coach Alex and Coach Kaplan, who spoke with Yinsu earlier on today.
We have a big game ahead of us today. I'm now joined by the two coaches of Sentinels and PaperX. Now, you guys have very different play
tapi
styles,
sumpah
but I
ya,
wanted to
gue
hear from you. Could you sum
pengen
up
banget
how
beli
the
itu
other teams,
baju
how do
baseball
they play?
Sentinel.
I'll start with you, Alex.
Bagus banget, Pak.
Meticulous. One word, right? I think very, very much attention to detail. I like the way they set up in post plans. You know, they retake. It's very clean. It's very clean Valorant.
I like that. Now, Kaplan, what about PaperX?
I think they're like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get, but it's always gonna be sweet.
Oh, that's very... Yeah, that's really sweet. Now, I actually have a question from Cuba ahead of today's game. He wanted to know, you know, just in case anything happens, what is one thing that annoys you the most that might, you know, cause you to yeet him into the air? I'll start with you first, Kaplan, because you've done him wrong a few times.
Been in pain before. I think if we have a anti-strat
Pagi Bang Tenji, halo Jonathan.
Wrong,
Join Discord bareng Tens dan Tarik.
he's getting
Kenapa bareng Tens sama Tarik?
What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I think it's similar. It's usually when players forget.
Gue belum di sana, guys. Belum.
Hopefully that doesn't happen for Cuba's sake today. Thank you very much.
All right, well, here we go, folks. It's now time to jump into the matchup. Let's welcome our two teams out to the stage and bring out these juggernauts because it's all coming down to this. The winner will move on in this competition. The loser will take a trip to the lower bracket and have to start the climb to the top of the mountain. But here we go, folks. Put your hands together and let's welcome your two teams to the stage. Here's Sentinels and PaperX.
Gelo.
Versus Sentinels.
Keren dah anjir baju baseballnya, gue pengen.
And here we go. It doesn't get any better than this, people. Sentinels facing off against PaperX, two of the best teams to take the stage. Prolific
baju sebetulnya lanjut atau udah beres, Bang? Itu timernya tuh 8 jam lagi.
Final in Madrid a little over a year ago. Sen won that match, went on to lift a trophy in
Jam 10
Spain.
pagi nanti kita kelar, guys.
This is now them returning to another international event after a long slump to try and show that they can.
Kalau nggak ditambah jam 10 pagi nanti kita kelar, guys.
Yet again, Bea.
Yeah, and as we take a look at the Omen map select, Split is going to be the first one. Sunset.
Deja vu?
Yeah, literally, we just saw this in the first match. And actually, Deja vu because PaperX has also picked this map already. Same goes for Sentinels. They go for the comfort that they've already found in the tournament. And we're speaking about a Sentinels that is still undefeated, that is looking flawless so far.
Sunset will be an interesting one. Sentinels thus far, they have played.
Yeah. Buffer!
Teams. They have beaten all. Second, he had an absolutely monstrous performance, running over with the neon on Sunset. But PaperX is a team that they are hard to match bar for bar with that kind of aggression.
Yeah, it's going to be real tough. But you know that energy is going to be on that stage. Both of these teams, fan favorites. You ask anyone in this venue, it's a 50-50 who they're going to pick, PaperX or Sentinels. And I'll tell you what, Mimi.
Bener 50-50, Pak.
Yeah, it is close. It is close for sure. For Sen, you know they're going to want to try and get in PaperX's head. Zelsis especially so comfortable on this kind of stage. Probably thinking back to that near PaperX choke in the Team Liquid game. They would have denied them being here.
I would love to see the same performance that we saw the other day coming in from Zekin. He was having a blast with the neon, just running left, right, and center. Yep. Of course, this time around, he's going to find maybe more opposition, or things are not going to be as easy.
It's going to be a challenge without a doubt, no matter how you shake it. But you can see these players, they know the moment that they're in right now and how intense this game is going to be once we're all in the server. Of course, we'll get a look and see what this agent select is going to be looking like in a moment. But Mimi, there is so many questions, right? You know, how disciplined are PaperX going to play? And also on this other side, how disciplined are Sentinels going to play? Because they have, looked to your point, incredibly flawless throughout Toronto.
They have indeed. This series is so interesting to me, mainly because of the crossover in these teams' map pool. both of them, I would put Sunset and Split at the very top of what they are wanting to play. That's where we start in this series. And that's why I think this game is going to be so hard to predict. So hard to figure out who's favored in those first two.
We can look back to what just happened on the first one, right? When we think about Split, we saw that crazy comeback. It was all about the defense, all about those anchors. And Sentinels has decided to be started on that defensive side. So I think we can, think about the composition. Then running that double initiator, double controller, the Sky.
250.000.
All right, here's your agent select coming up in a moment.
Girl, thank you, Cica.
Let's see what we get locked in here.
Oke, gue tambahin dulu nih waktu nih. Gue 50.000.
His trademark raise. Looking forward to seeing what he can do as he zips around the map there. We did
thank you,
see
Cica.
Sky from John Cutie before on this split, which we haven't seen Sky in a hot minute, so that was actually quite refreshing.
Yeah, I think that between him
Kenapa waktu itu kan di sosial bas. Ini gue selalu pindahin kok. Nih langsung gue pindahin nih. Milestone.
Head-to-head between the Euros, Zekin versus something. We know that something finds the same effect that the texture does with the operator in this map.
PaperX's double dive comp is so tough to play into. These guys are very fast on their execution on the attacks. They have a lot of power behind that. And in the post fight, that is where G2 fell apart. PaperX was constantly flying up, punishing them, getting ahead of that retake. But then they have that bot out there. They have to know how PaperX play on these two maps. But it's always the case. You can think you're ready for PaperX, but you don't really know until you're in the server against these guys.
Yep, ain't that the truth? G2 learned that lesson the hard way.
Yep.
And we're still waiting for this lock-in here. It seems like they're hovering over the Sky as well, and Omen I think is going to be a given here, but I would like to see them continue to use this because I like what I saw from them previously. And there you go.
The one time that they played at this tournament was against Wolves. We've already seen today what Wolves is capable of. And they actually started on the defense. They had a very rough half, only getting 4 rounds there, losing the bonus, that snowball that was in favor of the Chinese team. But for today, I hope that has been a learning experience since it's been a while.
Indeed it has. Indeed it has. But here we go, folks.
Thank you, Cica.
I've been waiting for this one to start, so I'm not going to waste any time buttering up Brent and Sideshow. Take it away, fellas.
Oke, siap.
Yeah, neither am I, to be honest. This is bound to be an absolutely explosive matchup that we got here. The crowd is ready. We've been talking to them all morning. Go with this one because there's history between these two teams. And not just that, it's a question of momentum. Can anyone stop this freight train that is PaperX when they've been absolutely tearing through every single opponent?
And the last time we saw PaperX get a bit of that momentum,
kan gue 50.000 ya per jam.
Different feel. It was back at Madrid when they weren't confident about their own play, and yet it was working anyway. And who ended up stopping them there? It was
tadi 100, berarti 60 menit tambah 2.
Genji waiting. Now that's not the case. It's Wolves actually who are waiting for them. You saw Super Baby excited potentially.
Udah. Itu tadi bonus dah ini. Astagfirullah, 6 jam 250.
Really well. But I think a lot of people are yet to really get on board with feeling like Sentinels have beaten a team that they respect. Now, I think that's wrong. I think that people aren't putting enough credit on Sentinels and what they've been able to do because they're underrating the Chinese team still. But when you look at what Wolves have been up to in our upper bracket, in the Swiss stage, it's tough not to look back at Sentinels beating them 2-0 and think, hold on a second.
Hey, up.
That's a real match. That is seriously impressive from Sen. And it was here on Split where they were able to come out with the victory. That's the time that we've seen Sentinels with this new composition that they're running here. And I think there's a lot of history between these two teams on this map. Oh, yeah. If you think back to all of the maps where we've seen that expresses their style the best. Playing for those retakes, super coordinated with it, stopping every idea that somebody has in the post plan. And I think you couldn't get a more perfect way to
Siap. Makasih Cicak. Anjing udah beli Cicak moderator gak sih Cicak? Guys, ini Cicak udah bisa dikasih moderator belum sih Cicak nih? Tetap nambah lagi Pak. Gas moderator sini, managing moderator, gas. Enggak, jangan. Maaf ya Cicak ya. Tapi harus gue inget terus Cicak. Harus gue inget sih. Semua investor gue harus gue inget.
It's tough with this squad though, isn't it? Because PaperX live or die by that explosive W gaming
Anjay, jadi mau jadi lah, gila lu. Itu berapa anjing barusan? Jangan bang, ya udah kalau nggak mau moderator, jasa cabut moderator. Ya, jangan cicak. Udah biarin aja moderator. Nggak ada jasa cabut moderator, nggak ada. Ada apa ini? Ini WP kita, guys. Padahal tadi harusnya jam 8 udah kelar.
Prove what an say is wrong as we get started into split.
Oke, gas.
And a heavy group up here from PaperX.
Wah, ini sih gue harus bikin kopi sih, turun ke bawah sih. Tadi udah ditraktir kopi, kita bikin kopi nggak sih turun ke bawah, guys?
And they will find it very difficult, Sentinels, to stop that from happening.
It's an early nade for B-Main, not taking control of it though, just holding it lightly and now setting their eyes over towards
Main dua smoker, no senti. Oh, ini yang dibilang sama coachnya Jitu nggak sih?
But also making sure that Sentinels didn't do a re-clear of B-Main. So no breach util, no sky util, and now the pressure's on Bang.
Walking up and exploding out onto the side. Bang is under that tremendous pressure, but his util out on either side as well. A bit of a handshake of it and supplementing, assisting.
Nice, Jing!
The side here. Sentinels attempting
duelan dua, relax.
Down into 2v2.
Iya kan, duelan dua.
John without any flashes to work with. Dog re-clearing. Sentinels very aware of the fact that PaperX is going to try to get aggressive into areas like that spawn push.
Something just trying to go for reposition.
Itu kelihatan.
Timing onto it, but bullets are flying forward. Smoke propped up. Viper orb.
Pak.
Ticking, and you can feel it. There's tension in the air. First round is everything.
How?
You set the pace. Something not a counter. Barely gets it under control. The damage done to John Q team. He's managed still.
Nice. Itu dia. Aduh, sumpah something, cok. Mencet util 1 lawan 2. Innalillahi. Itu nggak sih input buat PaperX? Buat something sih, kebanyakan mencet util, cok. Udahlah 2 lawan 1, udah fokus nembak nggak sih? Seenggaknya ngedamage musuhnya gitu loh. Itu si Davai udah 1 HP, Pak. Sampai diterbat, Pak. Apa itu anjing ketutupan?
Speaking of something, he's already taken the first blood here in this round.
Nih bang, buat cemilan nontonnya BTW gua nggak tahu, nggak bisa member, pengen member nggak bisa meskipun buka sehari bang. Kalau lewat PC bisa nggak? Anjing 150 berarti tambah 3 jam ya? 1, 2, 3. Ya guys, kalian ada 24 jam terakhir bersama gua berarti. Itu udah 22, 20. Bagus banget angkanya tuh. Halo Cicak, ini Cicak kayaknya menang ini gak sih? Menang predik gak sih ini Cicak nih? Asik sama Rejus makin lama. Asik. Sabar, ini tako berapa guys? Tadi berarti total tako berapa?
Pesky, unable to really root them out, but control of the site and the plant down for PaperX is a good spot to be in.
Pretty fast flank here going on as well through B main. John took a deep timing down mid.
Coba kita geser milestone ke hari ini ya. Judul IRL Korea. Wah, ini kalau bener sampai penuh sih gila anjing.
A decent amount of damage done as well. They've got a rifle and a bulldog that they're saving into the next round here, Paper X, and they'll still have
sejak tanggal sekarang, today.
You know, something only going for a marshal in that round, so he's still going to have some. But overall, this is where things really start to heat up. Sentinels are going to have a good game plan to stop these pops.
Ini Cicak ngasih berapa nih?
There.
Finally getting into the gun round here. Weapons online here for Sentinels, and fast as they goes this time. Yeah, that judge is not going to be getting the value. We've seen Jing just wrecking havoc.
That's
on prior opponents.
Really smart from Zekken though as well. He gets himself deep inside there and just starts spamming because he knows what's coming towards him.
Milih play forward.
100.000 dari ini.
Okay.
Dari Cicak.
There, quickly put down and trade inside there from the rates.
I think that favors the defenders actually because you've taken down that 8-ramp lurk player.
Yeah, and Sen are out in the open right now. John with the reposition quickly.
Ya Allah, nge-lag, Pak.
Might just be tucked to the side, and indeed that is a bit of a punish. Something he sent into that TP.
Okay, wait.
For the clearance, it's still managed to just wrangle the rifle in time. Snaps it straight to Zekken's head. This is a 2v3 scenario, but still very much winnable. Just depends if they can take out John. He's nearsighted, blinded, bit of spam as well. Trepidatious trying to be assisted with that util as well.
Makasih ya Cicak, cemilannya udah sampai instan.
Getting that plant down.
Ini enak ya. Bon cabe snack, makaroni crispy. Makaroni crispy. Wah, ini sih melek sih. Makaroni crispy-nya bon cabe. W Cicak gak sih? W.
Time is ticking on the spike. Making footsteps, making noise. Util as well. Expended that is a bit of a catch. Smoke in the back pocket. Going to be covering, obfuscating, forces the issue from Forsaken, but he's biding his time instead.
Nice! Mal.
Small misread there from Bang. He thought with Forsaken not really taking any level of challenge on him as he went through into sight, that probably Forsaken was going for
a kita bisa melihat Raiju tidur lagi, Ton. Let's go.
Hit Forsaken with the paranoia, and Forsaken was just having to talk. Both excellent players. But it's Forsaken who comes out on top. And that's Paper X winning the bonus as well. Sen are going to pull out stingers here to try to get a little bit of equalizing.
2-0 lah ini.
Can they swarm? Can they find the reads early? Well, Zekken instantly detected. He's always got a gate crash to try to bail out of there. But the game plan for Sen this round is going to be to try to gamble, to try to find.
And a lot of power for something to just plot them out of the picture.
Yeah, that's tough.
Flash forwards, it's going to be that refight attempted with the stingers still.
Nice, good turret.
John backs himself away.
Not giving away his position. But also nobody from Paper X looking to explore that either. They're going towards Bang and just missed the timing.
Unfortunate. Instant reposition. He's okay.
Skor berapa Bang Ju? 0-3.
Sort of get containment going on in mid.
These are the kind of rounds though where you've got to give credit to Paper X for baiting the play out of Sentinels rather than doing something quick and early themselves. I think in previous tournaments where we've watched Paper X, these are sometimes the rounds that are just gutting to watch because you know they need to play with discipline.
Masih match pertama kah? Iya, masih match pertama ini, map pertama.
Yeah, Bang can feel it coming now. Turning up the heat on the side, doesn't really stand a chance there. Too many angles to watch for. Down to the corner.
Essentially.
Ini Paper X menang gara-gara gue pakai baju Sentinel dan Cicak menambahkan ini nggak sih waktu. Oh ini berarti WP besok juga gue nonton guys.
Something's gonna drop the outlaw in this round. They've got an opportunity to combo some nasty ultimates together. This is the round to invest from two because if Sen lose this, they're gonna get knocked down onto an eco. And in fact, Kaplan's already caused a timeout. We're going into attacking pause here. And I think this is a really tough one to call because Kaplan can't particularly give them advice beyond the next round. The horizon is round 5 that you're about to step into because listen, you could be going into dimensional drift where something gets information and sets up.
Gua tapi pengen ngeliat ini sih, Wolf dibantai sama Paper X.
You're always having to react to what Paper X are doing because they've set up this ult snowball.
Ju, kenapa?
So maybe Kaplan's gonna call something aggressive.
Ju, maratonnya gak sinkron kah? Iya, karena ada 2 guys. ada di social bus, ada di Tako.
Very difficult to do that though against
Di Tako itu punya Bang Al. Social bus itu dari pertama kali gue pakai udah pakai social bus, jadi ada 2. Senyaman kalian aja udah donetnya kemana. Bang Celing, gue bukan Bang Celing, woi.
I do like this level of a gamble though. Narrate has his ultimate to work with, and so Sentinels are looking to stack 3 players over towards the B side and play A, essentially for full retake with that breach ultimate.
See how well it works out, okay. Plan was called for. Aggro for Zekan, he set up nice and early with the fault line.
Yeah, and look, fault line, paranoia, aftershock flashes. There's so much stuff that can support Zekan here.
Tapi itu total dari Tako sama total dari apa ya? Total dari Tako sama social busnya bakal jadi satu kok, bukan 40-40 bukan.
And here it is, dimensional drift now. Right as the gate crash was really about to fade, yeah, so Zekan forced to try and take this one out. A lot of players being spotted out here with a nightfall now, scatters away, and rocket into the back. To no avail, my God, he's doing them dirty, Zekan.
Oke, nice, gak apa-apa dapat 1 lumayan something. Something ngebuang naret sih bagus ya.
Got himself all the way into A, pulled every rotate over towards B. With double ultimates, they found themselves in a 4v4 where they have the A side completely for free.
Sentinel udah gak punya stun, gak punya flash. Ada deh. Masih ada Sky sama Yoru. Seenggaknya gak punya stun sih.
I mean, look how many threats are around the map. You've got Jing in a deep spot, Devi in a deep spot. These are all things that Sentinels need to deal with before they can even get close.
Danger lurking around every corner.
Di-delay lagi nggak tuh?
Viper Molly lay down on top of it. Sending the ult flying forwards though. Zekan, as you mentioned, he wants to scout out these positions, but how do you route these players out there in every conceivable spot? That's a good start. Devi's going to be dropped. Sees rebounding and flash into the face of Patman, but still he wants to hold his ground in through the back of the site. Support, reinforcements is going to be arriving.
Nice banget, Patman!
Patman is going to be falling in through it, but for
nice!
there to just fill in the gaps of the play, and his whole...
Nice, Gil!
It's watertight at the end of the day. This is
itu kayak Jing digigit ini gak sih? Digigit laba-laba gak sih?
None of the signature fast plays that we really seen from them. It's cautious all the way throughout, but with no mistakes being made.
Langsung nge-flick jir ke John Cutie.
I mean, finding the rate when he's setting up for the breach ultimate, catching it, and then
Kok ada 2 bang? Temps ya yang live stream ini asli apa yang palsu? Ini yang palsu. Ini yang palsu, yang asli sama tarik sama Exurat.
Absolutely gorgeous play.
The slow play continues. Something tremendous value that he's been getting out of this outlaw. Attack side op has been a bit hit or miss over the course of this tournament, but when he knows he's up against a half armor, a lot of confidence. Sentinel's taking a gamble stack.
Oh, tapi something doyan banget sih pakai outlaw.
They were leading with something's outlaw and never walking into the stack.
Oh, this is going to be explosive. Swing it.
Okay, nice.
Trying to chop these players down to the knees. Vulnerable dump. What is that?
Ini siapa yang menang? Oh, Peperex.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Itu mati semua, Cok. Bersepuluh.
Perhaps Sentinels would have won just based on time. Stuck inside the snake bite, ticking down, vulnerable.
And it's Devi snaps that final kill. If he got that a second later, Sentinels end up winning the round.
A little bit more touch and go for PaperX.
Ini mah PRX jadi kaya menjir. Maksudnya?
And this is another round to look to try to invest ultimates.
Weaponry in the hands of these Sentinels players though. This time they want to try and get that hold over towards A heaven. Heavy stack with the bodies, a lot of util. Going to be expended here by PaperX. They want to make sure that they gain control of ramp. The tap, seeing if they can bait out a response. Now giving up that space as well, going.
Loh, ini tense dari tadi. Kirain Kairi, kenapa Kairi anjir? Kairi mah rambutnya putih, yes.
In through B main, in through mid. Jing multitasking.
Sen looking to re-clear over towards A ramp. And Forsaken's heard that. He heard the dog, realize that they've got bad information. They think that nobody from PaperX is over towards A, so he's calling for the rest of the team to regroup on him. And they're leaving something as a lurk, which was so crucial in their win over G2 on Lotus.
They've waited so much time out. I mean, the Gatecrash is going to be fading soon enough. Zekken, it's the last one available to him. He's tucked into the corner for now, though, in through hell.
The Zekas are massive.
Pointing the way. Just wrangles.
Oh, nice.
Onto it anyway. Good
Nice,
trade.
nice.
All the way through and now sight. To be taken, the Raiden holding
Itu masalahnya kalau si Zekken berhasil kabur bisa dihil sama John Cutie.
Into the corner and everybody going to be scattered up into the air. PaperX, how the hell do you hold on to this one? Stunned up, taken out. Bang! He's already regained a bit of that control and ground Patman swinging from the side. And time is running short. PaperX got to get a bit of a move on here.
Nice something.
Kills, but it's all Sentinels.
Finally
putting around on the board.
Those Seekers from Jong QT could not have been better timed. Three of them all flying towards the A side, giving away exactly where Forsaken had called the
biasanya dia rada nyender dikit duduknya.
Finally we get to see Narrate's ultimate with the value. With time running short and good information about where they were going to pop, they get that sky flash at the same time as the breach.
Jadi go-kart jadi Karen.
Before the spike can even go down. But it's going to be a long road back to an even half if that's even possible for Sentinels.
Tapi nanti diatur jadwalnya ya, yang buat go-kart nih.
PaperX grouped up outside A, looking to try to dodge the sky flash. John used that first one.
Ini bukan channel kedua Chambling. Kenapa channel kedua Chambling, jir?
They looked to just break it with a couple.
That's a fake TP. Obfuscating the intent a little bit, and this Viper's Pit is causing problems. PaperX, slow beginnings, they have often been defaulting into trying to take a bit of mid-control at the minute mark.
Yeah, and I think Sentinel's defensive setup, they'll be very happy about this one. Still full breach utility, Bang with a paranoia. They've got tools to be able to defend this.
Bang's gonna have to be that playmaker. A lot of util, Nightfall coming out, sticks himself into the back of the side.
Oh, ketahuan tuh
try and
hati itu.
pre-aim, potentially a TP into the back. There's a Horn to deal with, and a TP back as well.
Nice!
With the raids, not anticipating it. Forsaken, he just scattered himself into the back. There's an ult from him on top of the Nightfall, cuts away the sound cues. They were not expecting him to stab them in that direction. Again, PaperX asserting themselves fully locked down and rooted in spot onto this site. It's going to be a very difficult task for Sentinels to try and retake.
They need to clear hell first.
All the way forwards here. The clone is going to be taken.
Jing!
I didn't even see them.
Wah,
I don't know how Jing
gila.
did.
Gua nggak tahu itu hoki atau bukan ya.
And two players deleted.
That's an immaculate round.
Replay.
I said that Sentinels had
VAR.
But Jing flies to new box, something flies into the back of the site, and Forsaken ults deep into spawn, making use of the fact that they had that Fade ultimate that takes away all of the sound cues.
Dapat dua nih.
How has he got the read whilst flashed up that there's two players right behind him? Crazy round from Jing. Just beautifully executed.
What the
Players
fuck?
flying into all different areas. Jing, something, Forsaken, they all take a Bermuda Triangle and surround the defenders on the B side. I want to take us back though to what we were talking
Sentinel
about.
pegangan nggak sih Sentinel?
These teams have only played each other once.
Tuh kan bener guys. Bener kan? Untung gua pakai baju Sentinel. Semua bad luck gua hari ini keserap sama Sentinel guys.
Always has been. It's also an incredible map for PaperX. When they played, it was the only map that PaperX
Semua
won.
bad luck gua sekarang keserap ke PaperX, ke Sentinel gitu.
On split. When arguably Sentinels were the best team in the tournament at that time in Madrid on split. So, you know, PaperX have just got a style that works phenomenally well, and it's really difficult to deal with. Right here, and especially on the attack side. So this is tough. This is going to require something ridiculous to try to come back from. But this is a great start for PaperX on their map pick and exactly how they would have visualized it going.
Looking to rewrite the history books as well from that last fated matchup. This time around, it's PaperX who want to be gone even deeper into the tournament here. Deep Flash connects to almost absolutely everyone here, just trying to step up towards it. But again, Sentinels don't really have the weapons to be fighting too hard. It's been slow going from PaperX. They've never been overcommitting so far. It's always just been dipping your feet in the pool almost, just seeing what the temperature's like every single time. Slow walking up. Not using too much util now, all grouped up, really testing their own fundamentals and trusting in them.
Masih mapnya PRX bang, di sunset mungkin ada perubahan, nggak bakal. Nggak bakal.
You could have handled it still. Zekan's there, there's walls on walls, obfuscating a lot of the fight. It's yet to be taking place, but now, moving around, wrapping around, you can see that dimensional drift. It's ripped off. Something was to clear most of the sight out. A bit of peace of mind here for PaperX, so the plant going down on top of it.
I think it's really important that PaperX don't put their players in one-and-done positions now. They need to be playing off each other.
Zekan's so eager to take that fight.
Yeah, this is maybe a bit over-eager, but he's played the situation. He's played it perfectly.
It's impeccable. There was no cue for John to play off. He had no idea it was going to be that deep onto the line. Bang around here, bang.
He made the long pilgrimage through mid, through sewer, and he's rewarded with a gun.
Bisa kalah sih.
Hold on.
Bisa kalah sih ini. Aduh, Batman! Jangan, Batman!
Tippy tappy, happy feet, leaves it just down to Defy. At the blink of an eye, bang!
That's gonna get a huge reaction from Alex. You can't be losing a round like that. MasterCard thrifty from Sentinels, but one that they were pretty much gifted with there. Looked like a scramble from PaperX. I think they thought they'd already won the round. You know, once Forsaken is in heaven and he's taken down 2, it's a 4v2. Where PaperX have guns and Sentinels have nothing. Fair enough. This flank from Bang, unexpected, but
gara-gara something mati loh. Kalah gara-gara something mati.
Exactly what Sentinels needed to try to get this half back to somewhat even.
Tuh kan, Alex pun kecewa anjing.
Looking so put together for a
4 lawan 2, kok bisa kalah?
PaperX looking to put it back together once more. Players got to be ready that. And okay, Zekan was dealt with. Getting cheeky.
Every round, it feels like PaperX are bunched up as 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So Sen, they know that they can take space on the opposite side.
Ult's expended now with a showstopper into the hands of Jing and just snaps it to the side. Catches John in time. Satchel forwards. Regaining site control for them. It's not going to be a heaven plant. They've lost control of that entirely. It's Sentinels that are in a pretty decent spot to try and play this retake, despite the player disadvantage.
Bang's in a decent position for a paranoia as well, but he's choosing to challenge elbow early.
Truck into the corner. It's all on this kill here. Something.
Nice, something.
Celsius gone. Something going okay. Just swinging around to the side there. Hands himself to the raids. Leaves it into this spot. Good flash right towards it, but it did block the process. So,
gila. 28 gini aja.
And add rounds to the tally.
8-2. Extremely powerful half. And I think a lot of these early rounds, it feels like Sentinels are expecting PaperX to be starting in a bit more of a defaulty spot, but they're always running into 3 or 4 players if they try to early fight. You know, when Zekan takes a challenge there,
lu kalau mau naik rank,
if there was only 1 or 2 PaperX players
itu
starting towards A, but look at it again, 5 of them towards A ramp. Makes it tough to stop.
Pahami dulu soal game ya. Valorant itu kan game ini ya. Valorant itu game tactical shooter yang mungkin lebih ke arah util juga sih sekarang. Kalau dulu tactical shooter banget. Sekarang udah nggak tactical, lebih ke arah util. Lu harus tahu setiap agent itu utilnya kayak apa. Kalau lu masih Iron. Gitu sih kalau kata gue. Pas lu udah paham, perlahan lu coba tajemin aim lu. Mulai coba ngertiin Baki itu impact-nya gimana. Jarak efektivitasnya berapa. Jadi lu nggak bakal ke pick off, susah ke pick off ya. Misalnya, oh iya Baki tuh sakit jarak dekat, lu pasti ngepicknya tuh rada jauh. Main aman, crosshair, placementnya kayak udah siap. Misalnya kayak gini, kayak pro player ya, dari B-main nih, B-nya split. Itu crosshair jangan ke tembok, usahain pikirin musuhnya itu bakal ngepick gimana. Jadi udah, kalau misalnya beneran ada musuh, tinggal lu klik gitu loh. Nah itu kenapa gue bilang pahamin gamenya, apa yang lu mainin gitu. Gila lu Patman. Tuh contohnya kayak Patman. Tadi kan ada satu atas, satu bawah. Dia udah ready, yang atas duluan kenapa? Di bawah udah ketutupan sama box. Alhasil bener, dapat atas, dapat bawah. Karena timingnya beda atas sama bawah. Tuh. Itu karena crosshair placementnya bener, dapat 2 tuh. Senyum. Alex senyum.
Yeah, Alex just can't quite believe that this is his life, but here it is, the final round of this first half.
10.000 subscriber, giveaway PC yuk, giveaway PC.
PaperX.
Ya kalau gua income-nya udah gede, gua sih nggak mikir deh. Apa sih yang enggak buat ini, buat penonton gua.
Getting into these anchor positions. Heal online, Nightfall's going to be connecting though, and that's going to be cutting away the sound cues. This is fast, hot, and heavy. It's what we're used to here with PaperX, but they insert a bit of a pause. Looking for the response, and now they're going to see it. Signs of life out, and it's whipping.
Kok kamu dukung Sentinel? Kata siapa gue dukung Sentinel? Kata siapa gue dukung Sentinel? Tanya penonton yang dari tadi nonton. Tanya alasannya apa gue pakai.
The Spike is kind of committed. Forsaken committed alongside it. Matters not with aim like that.
Lu tanya penonton yang dari tadi nonton gue deh. Kenapa gue pakai baju Sentinel?
Now I was expecting explosive, I was expecting pace, but honestly, it was a slow crawl from PaperX. They're playing their own game.
I was also expecting a bit more competition coming out here in this first half. Zen looking slow to begin. In a map where I think they should have been able to set up some nice retake scenarios. PaperX are just too sharp. Look at Jing here.
Gua itu hari ini lagi unlucky parah, Pak. Real. Terus gue mikir kan, aduh, gue mau dukung PaperX nih. Tapi kalau misalnya gue kan lagi bau nih hari ini. Kalau gue pakai baju PaperX, nanti PaperX kalah anjir. Dan bener, gue pakai baju Sentinel langsung bantai-bantai anjir. Tandanya gue sedang memakai 100% kehokian gue gitu. Teori kebalikan ya. Benar, coba lu mundurin streamnya. Lihat, 10-2 ini langsung. Berarti lu berkorban yuk. Betul, gue berkorban. Lihat nih. Ahmad, lihat Ahmad. Lihat deh. Lihat gak? Gue tadi mau pakai baju PaperX, cuman kayak anjing gue lagi bau. Jangan. Double aja, di double. Jadi ibaratnya hati gue mesti dukung PaperX. Ini biar Sentinel kalah aja. Gua ditunjukin kalah ini, enggak lah.
Two players have been leading the scoreboard in terms of their just output as well, but it's Jing and Patman, honestly. Jing has been putting up phenomenal numbers this entire time, but Patman as well as another player that, you know, the Desk has been highlighting it, we've been highlighting it. He's added this extra element that's been sorely needed for PaperX for the longest of times, and he's delivering now on the biggest stage.
Yeah, you see it reflected here in the Coinbase Econ report, but I think Jing on their attack side, especially in this tournament, has just been ripping people apart. I think some of it is looking towards their defense side, getting a bit more value from
Kebalik, Tens pakai baju PaperX, Raju Sen.
On that half, but when it comes to attack, the pathing, the feel
santai,
of the timings,
santai.
it's all been wonderful. And frankly, 10-2, you shouldn't have too many doubts about them closing it out. Now, okay, it's PaperX. We've seen the game against Liquid.
Nah,
We all know what happened there.
mungkin Tens lagi wangi hari
ended up
ini.
losing their entire
Jadi
tournament run. I mean, they were,
gioknya double tuh.
you know, an overtime away from not even being.
Charmnya double.
But generally speaking,
Tens lagi wangi, terus dia pakai baju PaperX, gua lagi bau. Pakai baju Sentinel. Alhasil apa? Sentinel 2-10 guys.
Grip of opportunities, especially when they put themselves in a good spots like this. But Sentinels trying to turn that around entirely here. The pistol round win. Easy access to the A site. There's no resistance. Full retake going to be played here by PaperX, but they have given up A heaven. Screens control a lot of it. They're going to have to start to re-clear it now. We can see moves being made.
Oh,
second refight is going to be called for, and there it is. Paranoia forwards. Did not catch
nice, something!
That could stand up to that. And indeed he does. Wins it out. Celsius.
Nice banget.
Trying to buy this time as well, wrapping from behind. He's that backup
Euro gap.
policy. PaperX are not slowing down. They're not going to give you a moment to breathe.
Langsung saja something. Langsung saja something.
Down his last remaining players. Bodyguards.
Oh, you won't find a better round than that from something.
Itu something mahal banget sih TP. Mahal banget TP.
Completely shuts down Sentinel's refight, and then he rips a teleport.
Lihat.
Gate crashing to backside to follow up on the Paranoia. Look
Nah,
at that.
itu buta tuh langsung.
That is gorgeous.
Gelo.
Play coordination and all set up so fast. Yeah, that's a masterclass. That is brilliant. And Sen are going to pull out those
Omen
American
blind.
stingers to see
Itu kan budak
if they
kayak
can turn
budak
this
plus
around,
buta
but
tuh.
my God, the
Something
damage has
langsung
been done
TP
already,
tuh
surely.
ke pojokan.
It's the last resort at this point.
Something.
Easily dealing with second. Chopping him down on the knees with a Guardian in hand. Full group up from Sentinels. They're looking to really just try and take this one with bodies and by storm. But again, something is holding it down. Jing's by his side. Going to be calling for a refight of their own. Flash forwards, no connection. Nobody blinded, but okay. Divide.
Ente.
Trying to turn him into mincemeat with that judge in
Oh,
hand.
tapi Zelsis 1 HP sih.
2v3.
2v3, Zelsis 1 HP bisa menang.
But so much damage done. Won't take much to bring down Zelsis in the rate.
An incredible confidence from something. Throws down the teleport into Mail, and then he's getting around all the way
Kelihatan
behind.
anjing pixel.
See him just through the X-ray. Paranoia is good. Blind's going to be slowing down the approach once more. Smoke in their faces. They're just trying to push them into something.
They're
just
trapped.
in case they are. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. You're going to try and fight your way out. But against the second, good luck.
That force buy of the Stingers may well be the last hurrah for Sentinels here on Split. Last time they played against each other, 13-5 was the score.
VAR.
PaperX on Split.
VAR for a second nggak sih?
I think this looks even more dominant today. Now, having said that, Sentinels did end up winning that match 3-1. In fact, final match was Sunset, which is where we're going next, but it's going to have to be a huge turnaround for this series not to just look massively one-sided. Stingers again.
Has to be.
Mantap Ju, jangan ganti baju. Oke, enggak, gua nggak ganti baju guys.
A lot of damage done. Jing Decay down, going to be regenning all the way back up at least partially. And this is a spread approach from Sentinels. We're actually exploring other areas of the map, not just A main for once.
Sabar guys. Gua mau nyoba apakah teori ini bener. Gua mau nyoba.
Using double initiator utility to try to get up mid, put pressure on Divide. But these players with light armor, most of them, most full armor, but still, they will go down like mulch.
On multiple fronts. Sentinels, they run over them B main, they run over them Heaven as well. That's going to unlock the site for their taking. Heal online as well, make sure to shore up the weaknesses, and PaperX are going to try and play this one now. Patman and Jing, side by side in the 2v4.
First time it feels
going for it.
Yeah, it's first time it feels like we've had PaperX in a spot where they aren't ready to go for that flood defend. They aren't up players. Sen completely.
Sabar, satu round guys, satu round. Satu round.
But also not really that much of an opportunity to upgrade to better weapons. There's still 3 on Sentinels that are running the Stinger and bang with a Guardian. Can they get guns on the retreat?
Jing was hoping, I think, to maybe get an exit or two. Don't think you're going to want to keep the judge.
I mean, you don't necessarily need the exit kills here. Look, Sen is still saving 0 proper rifles.
Yeah.
And there's also 9 opportunities
Gue pakai lagi.
for Paper X to close this out. Something tapping away on the keyboard.
Gue pakai lagi, gue pakai lagi.
The spirits
Gue
are
pakai
so
lagi.
high for Paper X.
And they can feel it. That's about as good as a beginning as you can hope for. 12 to 3. We're all just wondering at this point, what's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Re-clearance there with a fault line, trying to take a bit of B main control. Sentinels.
Mahal. Terlalu banyak util yang dilempar.
Away.
It's a flurry of utility on both sides towards B main, but it's Paper X who are more bold.
Drop Jing! He's just going walkabouts, hunting for a kill, but he's handed a freebie. Straight over here to Sentinels. Spy trying to re-clear some of that space and regain that gun. Does so successfully.
This control, though, that Forsaken's got in B main is really important.
Yeah. He's going to be painting out a pretty picture now to Paper X, and look at him divide his position. He's moving over towards A to reinforce it. Just from that B main control, they've got the read that this is going to be ending over towards A. Up through heaven, flash, no connection, dodge for now! Divide! He's got the horseshoe out, don't know where it is, not going to ask for the location, but he's claimed 2 anyway. In a 4v3, something is close, and no one is watching! Pure domination from Paper X.
And Sentinels get obliterated.
Anjing! Gue beneran sial!
Not in any way what we were expecting coming in. I thought we'd have a much more even game, but they were immaculate here today.
What the hell?
Something and Jing couldn't do any wrong.
Immaculate gameplay, and what a beginning here for Paper X. The team is looking to go that much further in this tournament here. There's all those questions here, but they've answered many of them by just
Sumpah bisa gitu ya.
Sentinels, and we're going to be stepping away, of course.
Itu harusnya kalah loh Sentinel round tadi.
We'll be breaking it all down for map number 1. Do not go anywhere.
Harusnya kalah, Pak. Sumpah. Sumpah loh.
Batman, scary ya. I almost lost the round, boys. It's okay, man. It's okay, man.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Jangan ganti baju sampai Perex juara, boleh? Boleh. Emang bener-bener cowok. Bener-bener.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Itulah guys. Itulah guys, ya. Sekecil baju aja bisa ngefek pertandingan besar guys. Sekedar baju loh. Sumpah. Lu tau nih, lu lagi bau banget, lagi sial banget. Kalau lu menggunakan 100% otak lu bisa membalikan sial itu menjadi senjata lu guys. Bisa yang sial banget tuh malah jadi senjata paling bahaya. Gue dukung Paper X, tapi gue lagi sial. Gue pakailah baju Sentinel. Beli jersey Wolves yuk. Jersey Wolf ya. Ada tuh kayak yang jual di Tokopedia. Wolves. Anjing, 800.000 guys. Mahal banget jir. Tapi beda bajunya guys. Beda bajunya. Itu jersey bola asu. Ya mana gue tahu belinya di mana? Gue nggak ada guys.
But you guys were actually the ones that was almost flawless. So was this your game plan all along? Have they executed your vision?
Yeah, I mean, we really didn't want to rush them because we knew that they would be like super prepared for it. So we tried to make sure that we slowed everything down for this particular game. Yeah, I think they did a great job.
Thank you very much, Alex. Hopefully you bring this home.
Wow, what a game we just witnessed there. This is Sideshow. Well,
you don't sound like him in the slightest.
Can you do it?
No, I can't do it. I won't pretend to do it.
10 out of 10. Welcome back, everyone. Oh, wow, that was a quick one. How long was that? I went to the bathroom, came back, it was over. Crazy. In any case, though, kind of like a Verizon high-speed moment. This one is going to go to Jing because Jing just doing Jing things.
Iya, ini yang lewat heaven. Ini kenceng banget anjir.
Way slower, but yet you see them do things like this and you're like, slow is a different definition for you.
He shot everything. It doesn't matter if it was the clone. In this case, it even grants him the other two players a flash right out of that smoke. The timing for that
dia bunuh yang di belakang. Gua kira dia bunuh yang di atas sama belakang, apa tuh, sama belakang, atas bawah. Ternyata itu yang belakang dibunuh 2 biji.
Yeah, it was a 13-3. What do you expect me to say?
Yeah, that was a crazy song from Paper X. It was interesting because I think they did slow things down compared to the last time.
Betul, aku lu gimana Bang Ju? Udah aman, udah balik.
But they weren't doing a ton of crazy defaulting. They weren't, in most rounds calling some
crazy
interpretation of slow.
Yeah, there was a couple good lurks from Divide that netted around, but for the most part, it was just kind of walking around, finding some of these first picks, and then converting with really strong post plans.
And if you could see in that graphic, 7 first kills for the side of Sentinels. They only won 3 rounds. And in fact, in many of the rounds, we saw Zekken trying to go on A, trying to find the first one, and actually finding it. But Paper X bringing in the chaos round after round. Also, most of the rounds, well, 90% of the rounds that they got the spike down, which we were pretty eager to do, obviously, that's what you're doing in this game, that translated into a round win. If we really think about it, the 2 rounds that Sentinels won from their defense was that 1 round from Narrate with the ultimate, very well executed, but it's not something that you're going to have all the time, and Bank going completely crazy.
It does really feel like a redo of the G2 game
ini baju wall.
Because, well, that one ended up being really close. It was mostly close because of G2's attacking side. On defense, or on the attack side for Paper X, they were almost perfect in that game. Same here again, and it's a similar thread, right? When they're getting into these post plans, their players are so willing to play up, to fight off each other, and they are so fast at getting these multi-kills. Look at the amount of rounds where one Paper X player is getting 2, 3 kills and nearly single-handedly closing out.
And you see Forsaken, those paranoias, the effect that he was having. I am not going to lie, this morning I woke up, I went on Twitter and I saw a tweet that he posted right after the gym, and I should have known. I should have known running there that Forsaken was winning today.
He got those gains in the gym, now he's getting those gains in the server.
And this is now a really scary position for Sen. You look back to their failure in Bangkok, going out early in that tournament, and a lot of what the team talked about after that was troubles with the mental, right? Going down in games, struggling to get back into it, players feeling a little bit tilted, a little bit off, and that is a hell of a game to lose. A map you're historically excellent at, crushed in that way.
Yeah, and probably if we look at here, we see Junkie T at the bottom, and it's something that we do not see all the time, and maybe we have to bring in the conversation, this changes, and bring it in the sky, and how effective it must be in any map. Like in some instances, you could even see him try and pop flash something that is just not going to work. And as I'm saying, with the team that wants to fight all the time, how quick everyone from PaperX is going to go. They do not care. They're very quick in their reacts. You will not flash them.
Really difficult for Sentinels to have to deal with that. What is Coach Kaplan thinking as he gets ready for match 2? We have Yinsu standing by.
Ahead of Sunset, I'm joined by Sentinels coach Kaplan. Now, Device Sage is such
Tapi ini
a
bagus
hallmark
sih.
of their identity
Yang
with their
Ventus
Sunset
juga.
comps. You've actually faced that before last year. How do you deal with his Sage?
Yeah, they only have a few losses on this map. One of them is to us when they're playing that kind of comp. I don't want to give anything away before we play, but hopefully people can stay tuned and we can teach everyone how to do it.
You heard him. Stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Coach Kaplan saying, hey, they're going to teach people how to beat this team on Sunset. But hey, you look at that 13-3 on Split. I got to feel pretty damn good about PaperX going into map 2.
Yeah, speaking of 13-3s and speaking of Sunset, the last map that these two played against each other before today in that lower bracket in Madrid that we were referencing earlier was Sunset.
Yep,
and that is
right.
what Kaplan is speaking about. If they are to show the same composition, which I do not think, I think that they will stick to what they're doing right now, not going back to the Gecko and the KO. PaperX could have had a different fate, but now they should be scared because the momentum is all in the side of PaperX.
Yeah, squarely on their side. PaperX really just taking these corners and taking these fights like they know they're not going to lose, like they have the spoiler available to them. But here comes the agents, they're locking things in here, and yeah, I mean, basically getting the same thing for PaperX.
Yeah, we are running it back for PRX, this Sage comp that they have been running in some variation for a very long time. That's what Coach Kaplan was alluding to. If you're looking at a Sentinels bounce back, you have to look to Zekin. He was unbelievable in their last map of Sunset against XLG. He's the guy who can bring the momentum, bring the energy to try and get them back into this game.
Yeah, and especially with them starting on the defense again, given the chance of for PaperX now having the chance of setting up the pace just like they did on Split.
The Sage is weird though, it throws off your timings on your retakes. You have to break the wall, fight through slows.
Walls?
No one in NA plays a comp like this, so ever since that last time they played PaperX last year, this is only going to be the second time they're seeing this kind of composition.
Pressure's on here for Sentinels. They got to keep the drive alive here. This is the opportunity for them to do it. They've done it before against PaperX. They've done it multiple times now, but this feels like a different PaperX.
Gue pengen ini sih. Gue pengen 5.000 seri sih, 50-60 mungkin. 50-60 oke lah.
So confident after that win. John QT got a
XCC
trophy
nobar
his
bareng
first
kan
ever
tarik
Masters with
rupanya
this squad
iya.
in his rookie year. Now, with new players on the roster, with pressure high again, a chance to try and come back to beat PaperX again. They do not want to go to that lower bracket. Fnatic, G2, down there waiting. That's a terrifying fate.
It's a shark pit without a doubt, Mimi, but let's see if we're going to be going to a third map and send it over to your casters. Here's Bren and Sideshow.
If you're a Sentinels fan, I think your spirits have to be lifted seeing Kaplan smile.
Sentinel gak bakal menang. Bajunya gua pakai. Sumpah gak bakal menang Sentinel, guys.
But they have been really good. A lot of momentum behind them after winning that first map of Split. Looking to carry it all the way to knock Sentinels into that lower bracket, as the desk was alluding to. That's a dangerous pit of opponents. You do not want to step into that. Fnatic, G2,
that is
Gen
tough.
G.
But as we come in here, you mentioned that Kaplan's still feeling fairly confident, right? That he's got a game plan. Well, they had a bit of a game plan on Split, but Alex changed up everything, started playing more slowly, threw them off their game, and absolutely demolished Sentinels 13-3. What have PaperX got cooking here?
We'll see if Sen have any bite back. Footsteps going to be heard.
Mau nyoba game apa bang buat 50-60? Gue lebih ke arah mentingin ininya sih, encodernya kalau bikin konten lebih bagus.
But they've hit the perfect timing just as both initiators, John and Narrate, have gone off of A to go and re-explore mid. Now, defensive re-clearing. Sentinels were not doing very much of that on split, so I like the idea of them getting active. And they might have found the timing to just get back into A in time.
3 players ready to receive. The slow walk kind of spells it all out. 50 seconds on the mark, plenty of time to PaperX to work with now, and they're full steam ahead.
Again, those Sentinels allowing them to get the plant. 10 out of 12 rounds PaperX were able to plant on split.
Devi's got an abundance of util here. That's a nightmare scenario to be facing. All in through the back, cuts out that avenue, especially against the pistols. How the hell do you break this in time?
At least they didn't send the retake utility before meeting the wall.
There it is. Smoke to replace it though. Gap into the wall, now you're seeing it. Going to be used pound for pound. There's another slow walk, slowing them all down. Taking control, Zelsis might be a pivotal player. Swinging around to the side here to seize everything being used up towards the top. Pac-Man going to be gone. Second! He's lights out. 2 players immediately fall.
ND.
Everyone's gone from PaperX. Players out of their seats, Zelsis.
There's the game plan, working to perfection. Sentinels took a long time to set up that retake. Everything had to be perfect. Zelsis had to be ready for the backstab. They needed to break that Sage wall. Everybody had to get in the right spot to maximize value from the fault line, from the paranoia, from all of the pieces of utility that were necessary. But once they pulled the trigger, they completely collapsed onto PaperX from every angle. And that's where you might actually argue that the Sage Wall could have hurt PaperX, because in those kind of spots, sometimes PaperX are going to want to try to catch Sentinels as they go for the retake.
Deep smoke, Judge into the hands of Zelsis. He's about to farm! Put him into the blender! Side by side though, Bang having a reload. He couldn't quite back him up in time, so they have handed over a gun still. Close quarters is what it's going to be favoring. Slight swing out to Vi.
Mahal banget sih roundnya.
And a very
clean as you can get.
Yeah, very clean round. Sentinels giving a lot of respect to PaperX though, making sure that they fully buy. You know, nobody just coming in there with a pistol looking to buy up a better gun for the bonus round. So they are going to be working with some lighter weaponry here for the bonus.
One enemy remaining.
But overall, it's a much better start here on Sunset, on Sentinel's map pick, than what we were looking at on Split, where PaperX just dominated right from the beginning.
Oh iya, lagu Lovia.
Jing trying to pull a little bit of attention by the look of things towards B main. And then instantly going for the group up on A. Now this one way is dangerous. You've often got to burn this overdrone to get past it, through it. You're expecting Bang to be holding it.
You do have the Viper wall though. So
even then,
still going to be used.
You can step in front of this Viper wall. You can't perfectly rely on it.
Tepid, tiptoeing up to the mark, just spotting the shoulder, Bang.
Baiting for Narrate.
Bit of damage, yeah. There's that bait and switch setup. We'll see if there's U2 going to be used to clear the corner. Still Forsaken, wants to send it forwards here. TP of his own. Trip, gone. Taken out, but no control towards elbow, and Bang finally reveals his hand once more from that angle. Paranoia swings forward, sidestepping. It's John QT still something there to receive. Open arms with the rifle in the hand, the rate only just accounted for, and he has picked up Pac-Man, and that means main control is theirs. PaperX, they commit to the plant.
It's a weird situation. The retakers are going to find it difficult to come back through A link because Device put his wall down there. And Device kind of solo fighting towards spawn. PaperX know they need to make a play. The weaponry's bad as well from Sen, and they are slow, aiming to be meticulous.
Trying to take the first fight. Second! Oh my goodness, barely there. Stinger in hand, something.
Ini third map, gue udahan nontonnya.
But not anticipating Bang. Quick collection with a 2 and a quick snap to the side from the rate. An injection of energy for Sentinels here.
Ini masuk map 3, gue udahan. Gue nggak lanjut map 3.
It feels like the same the other way around here for Sentinels. They are really in control of what's happening. Funneling PaperX into these A site hits. And then being really cautious as they group up for retakes. Any kind of push out is getting controlled. And already Alex is hitting that big red button. Tactical timeout being called after only 3 rounds here. And there are so many other things that PaperX could be doing. They don't have to be ending every round over towards A. And even if they are ending rounds towards A, maybe they need to get coordinated with some plays. You know, bait out Sentinels to go and take some position and then refight them as they're setting up. You think about it, there's
let's go, PaperX!
holding Paranoia and John's holding Stun where you might be able to catch them. But it's a narrow window. Alternatively, you know, you don't have to opt into the A post-plant fight.
Sure.
That's where Sentinels want to take you.
Go in a different direction. Or as you said, trying to find that gap in the timing where retake util is primed in the hands of the Sentinels players and it's not the guns being played. PaperX are good at that. They love to increase the tempo.
But today it has been slower.
It has been slow, yeah.
And honestly, even that post-plant aggression has not been as explosive as we've seen from PaperX in some of their other games. I think they really on split were trying to play counter to their normal style to throw Sentinels off. This round they're coming in with only 2 stingers.
Yeah.
So really this tack timeout is going to be based on the next round, for round 5.
Guys, on the next round and use to settle.
Otak gue udah mulai on off.
Perhaps a little bit.
Yeah. Jing, if he takes orb here, if he gets a kill or dies, he's going to have Showstopper back for that rifle round. You're also looking towards something who'll have the Sover ult online. So big tools for them to be able to work with next time around. But once more, a little bit of B main and back into A. It's the same game plan in all 4 of these rounds.
A high-low setup to receive. Drone's there. Stun going to be used. Both stuns, in fact, overlaid. Aftershock into the corner. Everybody gets out in time. No damage onto the PaperX boys. But a one-way quickly replaced. So good luck trying to get past that when you don't have a drone anymore.
Exactly. As soon as you burn the drone, that's one of the primary ways, arguably the only way that PaperX can safely take A main. So even though that util battle feels like it favored PaperX, in reality, I don't think it did.
So up through mid they go. Risky, haphazard, but here we go. It's a one-way setup. Jing! Beautiful movement! Still going to be isolated and taken out, but a glide into the slow. Zekken not to be denied his own. Into a 2v3 here. Spikes drop down, but it is smoked off, so Forsaken can reclaim it. Safely for now. 24 seconds left, plenty of time to get the plant down.
And look how passively Sentinels are. They're not going to cross this line until they're sure that the plant is down. They're never going to give an opportunity for Patman to walk up and get a free kill. Very disciplined from Sen. It's going to be tough for Forsaken to pick them apart.
But a TP, almost unexpected. The stun's going to be clearing them out, though. B-hop into safety. Tracks himself away. Smoke going to be blossoming now. Zekken. Just a bit of raw spam there into the smoke. It's Patman versus the world in a 1v3. You can hear it jumping around. Zekken willing to put his life on the line. Slightest a chance with the lineup, but all secured in the end here by Sen.
Really disciplined. I think that's the first word you've got to go towards when you're giving credit to Sentinels and how they're playing this. They are really far away, never taking a risk once it comes to a retake scenario. In the mid-round, look, Zekken's happy to challenge, happy to fight. And they're looking for those defensive re-clears, but once their player advantage up and the spike's committed, it's all about playing together. Now this is the round where Alex took the timeout to try to get PaperX back onto the right track. See if they could get the train going again. Jing and Something's ultimates have got to be what you're looking towards. And normally, this B main noise is a fake. Every round, they've been putting a bit of noise B main, throw down the boombot, and then they group up A. It's not a fake this time.
See if that conditioning sticks. Right now, there's plenty of bodies. And Sentinels reinforcing, gathering. Rocket finds its mark and more. Jing can't be stopped all the way through, and he wants a little bit more. 3 on the board for him. And there's 2 left alive. He's going to go hunting. Paranoid. Blind as anything. 1 left to stand. The crowd wants it. You can feel it. A rumble on the stage.
And Bang does not want to give it to him. He's hiding towards Pillar. 4 and 1. Still plenty of money. He definitely could go for it. He should go for it to try to limit the economy of PaperX.
Bang drifting in. I know where he is now, closing the door straight on him.
And Jing is gonna hunt.
Running him down. Pac-Man to receive. It's a bit whippy. We'll call it intentional. He's just trying to give him the kill.
Energi gue habis. Ini udah masuk 2-0.
Timing.
Yeah, the time's ticking.
Bang's, I think, gonna live this one. Ridiculous.
Kasih gue merem bentar ini.
He's hunting. He's trying to get it. He's trying to get it, man.
He's not got the time.
Good.
I mean, he ruined the clip anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, that's not getting into 60 seconds.
He's a coward, Bang, a coward. An incredible entry. What a rocket. Perfect, precise catches Zelsis around the corner. Immediately on top of Zekan, who was also running away in case the showstopper was going towards Market. That's the kind of entry.
What a rocket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, credit given. But they are not going to have that same tool again.
So a bit of a reset here for round 6. Zekan. Ooh, jiggling out, shoulder spotted. Sees the bullets. He knows he's getting some sort and form of response. Holding close now.
At this point, I think Sentinels have to read that this is real B-main again.
Surely.
Yeah.
Oh. The Hunter's Fury is going to be in that back pocket still, dark. Going into the back, Jing!
He's amazing on the entries.
He's straight in there. It's beautiful movement. TP though, reinforcements arriving. Bang is just trying to get into the action and the fray, and from behind Pac-Man just cuts Zelsis to pieces still. Needs to play his life a little bit better here. He's being chopped down, Chunk UT scrambling for a chance to reclaim some kills. Any semblance of control over to the round, but he's given up entirely at this point.
So PaperX spent those first 4 rounds with a little bit of pressure towards B main and then instantly regrouping A. In this round, Sentinels knew that they were about to pop towards B. They'd thrown a haunt, they'd got Bang on the deep A line. Bang was controlling all of this space right at the start. And Sentinels started moving the defensive rotations over, but they still weren't ready for it. Second's job was to try to control that push, the entry from Jing, and he just couldn't deny it.
It's a critical 1v1.
And again, it's Jing coming out on top. He's been immaculate. I hear this might be a gun going down.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Bang ended up getting that kill, so holds on to the rifle. That's going to be fairly critical, actually, for the Sentinels' economy. Yeah, we're still going to have a rifle round.
Exactly.
But this, I mean, Zekan starts shooting while Jing is still moving. And because the first bullet doesn't land, no bullet tag doesn't slow him down. He's in the kind of random spray component by the time he's taking a fair fight. If you miss your first shots, Jing's all over you. Give him an inch, he takes a mile. He's 7-4. And his team's only got 2 rounds.
Different look for PaperX.
What is this trip?
That's interesting.
Over towards upper mid. They spammed to try to break the normal trip, but this one's wonky.
It leaves a gap, but it's safe from the random spam. Both of the trips are, in fact, intact, but it does leave a window of opportunity for Pac-Man. If he's slow,
yeah, but it doesn't. He can only lurk on the left side. He can't lurk on the right.
I think as soon as he breaks this, he's still from their side. It's bang! Can't get out in time. He overstayed his welcome.
Here's the gap.
Just the one, and there's the gap. Hold on, creeping straight past. All that noise, pressure being made. Rez, save for a rainy day. Jing straight up and down once more. And the raid is hard committed into the fight. Paranoia.
Here comes Pac-Man.
Holds into the back. Pac-Man's right there with him. It's an ult that's ended up being cancelled, just faking them out. Trying to make Sentinels think that they're in the walls himself. Still it's a 2v4. Kills need to be earned at this point. Speed needs to be filled up, but it's just not happening. PaperX have them surrounded. I'm not even down.
What? I mean, everybody decided to follow Pac-Man into spawn there. A really bizarre round set up by that trip. And you can see why Zelsis is going for the trip. It avoids the spam that you would do usually to break that common trip that gets placed in top mid. And it also would dodge a shock dart if something threw one in. But actually it opened an avenue that Sentinels weren't looking at properly. They need to be monitoring that timing. And Pac-Man found the avenue to be able to get behind and win the round. And these slower paced rounds where they're not just sending it A have been working for PaperX. So hey, why not change it up?
Fast take now. Fight to be taken. Jing.
There.
Anybody want to offer themselves up to challenge him? Bang, still there. It's just a bit of spam, actually. Meant for that, actually. Deep push in through mid and a big blind.
Yeah, that's a crazy push.
Caught.
Just off rip, Bang walks down tiles.
Yeah.
Catches Pac-Man very early. And that's the main guy that's been doing the lurking for PaperX. So now I think Senna going to be feeling pretty fine about this. They've got Cam watching over towards B main, Trip towards top mid. A small gap in market, but Zelsis is going to be happy to cover that. And a high, low, and lower setup. But again, the discipline that I was talking about, there's a fine line between being disciplined and passive. But Sentinels are giving so much space to PaperX.
A lot of respect and a lot of trust, I think, in their retakes.
Very heavy trust in the retakes. Now, that did not work on Split. They won 9 out of 10 post plants, PaperX.
Gave Jing the plan he would have a showstopper, but he wants to keep the gun out for now. And taking a fight towards the back net. It's a good stun, does connect, and even at the follow-up, rolling thunder through and out. Hunter's Fury, dodging, juking, skipping and hopping. Second has access now. Flagpole going to be planted into the site. This defuse is stuck to half.
I mean, something is just looking to save his gun at this point. He's not even trying to win the round. He knows it is unwinnable. That's another perfect retake from Sen. The game plan is crystal clear. PaperX know exactly what Sen are looking for, and yet they can't do anything about it. If you try to push into spawn there and catch them as they're trying to retake, you're going into a triple stack facing you. And then if you try to play disciplined post plants, they're just running at you with every piece of utility. PaperX at this point need to be saving big pieces of util. You need to be saving, if you can, Showstopper, Paranoia, you know, these things that are going to be able to counteract.
Big tools, you say that, and they've just sent it. Letting it rip. Fault line's going to be slowing down Jing to deal with that trick. Broken for now. Into the corner. Close as anything! Second has not been accounted for. And he's still overstaying, still tucked to the side. Shorty in hand. Player damage helping. How the hell did he get out of this one? Going for the kills and a wall in his face to evacuate. Even the watchful eye through mid, he knows that that's a possibility. Gaps in the defensive player, Sentinels. Pac-Man could be anywhere, and he's been good at slinking into them. Bang. It's all slow, it's all steady. And PaperX, they jump on the chance.
What a contact play through the smoke.
Left wondering as well where Narrate could be, but it's a beautiful play for PaperX to get set up into this one. Pac-Man and the off angle. A lot of damage done. Drops Narrate down to 52 health, and even the horn missing. Getting a bit flustered perhaps into the moment. PaperX not leaving anything for chance. They're doubled up here. Backside control. Someone with a dart to get their acknowledgement. That's what they were looking for. And Narrate is just left wondering, stewing, wondering how to win this possible chance. But he spotted the barrel, but time is running short. Time is running dry. It's ticking now. Narrate has got to get a move on. But if he makes noise, it won't play into his hands. It won't play into his odds.
What a recovery of that. PaperX in the 3v3 make the play that they need to. Wandering out through that smoke, because what was going on here? Not anticipating how close Second was holding. Forsaken anticipating that everybody was going to be playing backside. A cute little wall as well to be able to take down John, but it's this walkout here that you're watching. Something and divide together through the smoke.
Reset mata Pak, capek banget gua.
PaperX are getting themselves back into this game. It's a 1-point lead right now.
Wrangling control back.
Pokoknya guys, ini map 3 gua nggak nonton, gua ngantuk banget. Parah Pak. Bocor energi gua guys.
Opportunity for Pac-Man to go on a wild lurk play. But to some degree, why would he want to do that? He's got the Viper ultimate to work with here. He's still going to go towards mid, though, with the rest of PaperX grouping up in B.
Yeah. Late backstab by Pac-Man, perhaps, but PaperX are going to be hitting the go button here. Util's going to be used, though. As soon as that nade flies forwards, up and over, orchestrates pretty well that PaperX are going for this.
They're a big fan of using high ground angles like this.
Benerin layarnya itu.
So you might not be thinking about it, because it's normally Divine that's going to be looking for these kind of
Sorry.
He's holding the paranoia. That's going to be off the contact of Zelsis. He's tucked himself into a forward position.
And if you wait too long, John will have the fault line back up.
Look at the rate.
Sorry.
They all know this is going to be going towards B. There's a smoke. Paranoia does connect. It's going to go pound for pound, but Jing is straight past it and out. Kills going to be claimed and collected here for Sen. And the res, yeah, there's no collecting those bodies either. There's the rate. Faxed up, we were talking about, there was no clearance in sight, and now he's just keeping them collected. Corralled into a corner. C's not going to be connecting, but he's got the spike down, and with 15 seconds left, there's nowhere to go at this point.
Very nice defensive utility from Sentinels. They've got the right read now. I think they're really in control of the information game. You know, there was one round where they let Pac-Man completely slip through top mid, but most of the rest of the time, they know where PaperX is going. It's just a matter of actually stopping them. And this time, Faultline denies the first phase of the exec, then Paranoia is great at denying phase 2. And here, Jing just tries to get through anyway, hoping that everyone would be blind. He's just gambling on the fact that everyone is going to be hit by the Paranoia on both sides. This does seem like a good round, though, to go for a bit of fake B and try to catch somebody alone on the A side of the map. You know that Sentinels are cheating the rotations over to B and leaving kind of one person pushing out. So, a bit of pressure towards mid.
I'm going for it, though. Hot shots taken. Zekin is quick to get the hell out of there and evacuate. He's just holding it down. That A-lurk shut down. No more threat of the wall going up. Res in sight, though.
Jangan sampai gue bikin cam buat
the whole team
kamera
to take this space.
buat mata gue.
Very important that gets broken, but okay, Satchel forwards. Jing doesn't hard commit. Try and take out Bang. They want to try and deal with his body, and Sentinel's not willing to concede the space. They're still trying to make a go for this one. A bit of raw spamming through the box to try and defend it up through mid. It's Forsaken who's the one who's going to be going down.
Devise Ultimate makes sure that this is only a 4v5.
I don't know if they know about this. Must have heard the Satchel, but do they expect Jing to be up on top of the box?
That Prowler's not going to tell him anything.
And he's going to take that timing and take it well! Jing!
He's amazing!
He's cracked it open! The A side should be theirs, but there's still 2 players left unaccounted out towards the back of the side, and PaperX getting cold feet on that idea. They have lurks on lurks.
This is where PaperX need to be regrouping, I think. You can't afford to have Pac-Man and Jing be playing off on their own like this. Just group together, use the Viper ultimate, try to close out the round.
30 seconds left.
Pac-Man should have a safe avenue to the rest of the team.
Very important fight.
And Jing, he survives. So danger probably averted at this point.
Commits to the reload, though. Plenty more to work with now, but he has to drop into the corner.
Oh, what is that?
Get the hell out of here.
Oh, that is absurd.
What the fuck?
Filthy.
That is truly ridiculous. And it's left Zekin in a 1v3.
God almighty.
Which he's not even going to go for. 13 and 5, having a great game. But it's all Jing all day. 2 rounds out of the 5 that PaperX have won.
Ada drama follow lagi. Apa drama follow-nya?
I mean, one of them set up really heavily by the rest of his team too. He flies in with a showstopper, beautiful snipe onto Zelsis, takes down Zekin as well in market. This one was much more about his intelligence rather than his mechanics.
Drama follow-nya apa tuh ya?
And then utilizing the fact that
Aji itu Jing bisa begitu, Cok.
And then he just tucks himself into a wonky spot. And listen,
I need to see that again.
I mean, you're only going to hit him if you go for them.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Gotta respect it. Stuns up. Nowhere to run. Yeah, okay.
Have we got any developers in the building? I mean, that is crazy, isn't it?
That's shock and awe. Astounding stuff, man. It's 6-5. We've got one more round left to go in this half.
L-Stream Sam siapa L-Stream?
Double swing. Bottom section of mid. This is PaperX trying to take control of it.
L-Stream Sam siapa?
It's keeping Sentinel's players anchored for now.
They've just got such a nice ult combo to win this round. You know, Showstopper's been amazing at opening these places up. And Jing's got that over towards B main.
This is Bang going to be tested, assuming they just pull the trigger on it.
But I think it's also Bang to try to get out and live.
As soon as you hear that one voice line, everybody's going to be scurrying away, evacuating. It does give that access now towards the site. You're trapped up. Oh my goodness.
Chip damage, but no more.
Siapa
Here's that Viper ult.
Patrick.
There it is, yeah. This is going to be a blight on the map now for Sentinels to try and deal with. Nightfall should be clearing this one up ever so slightly. Doesn't clear the back of the site, though.
And it doesn't hit Pac-Man, which is
Si
huge.
Patrick gitu.
Hold up to a degree, random spam praying for a connection. Wall needs to be dealt with. Finally broken, at least in one partition. Forsaken is going to be tucked into the corner still. Caught by that stun to the side. Seconds all the way in and through, but unaccounted for. Forsaken, how long do you bide your time? Chooses to just take him out now. Sort of deal with the rest of the team, though, and they are flooding in. Fast now, Sentinels trying to get a handle on it. And access and control is theirs now for their side. That final round earned.
And every round that Sentinels got, this final one, a theme that lasted right from the beginning. Setting up for the retake and executing it perfectly. Look at the movement, it's just brilliant. And then the Viper even falling as well.
Absolutely unbelievable stuff here. The momentum and kind of fight back, I think, that we wanted to see from Sentinels to give us that competitive series.
Esports is a $2 billion industry now, but it all started in dingy basements and cramped living rooms.
From how the pros train to how the money flows, this G2 and MasterCard series breaks it all down. 12 episodes, packed with insight and lessons for anyone looking to understand the world of competitive gaming. Ready to learn the game behind the game?
Stay tuned for what's next. You won't want to miss it.
Oke. Bentar. Gue lagi lihat ini, guys.
Taking a bit of a granular focus, I think, on some individuals in this game so far. Namely, Second is really the first player I think I want to touch on, because this guy's been lights out. Maybe after that game earlier today, I mean, the only player beating him out in terms of rating was Texture. Don't know if that's still the case. Second might be the top-rated player going into this match here today, but he's got top competition in the form of Jing, who's been putting up unbelievable numbers.
Yeah, again, you can see it reflected here in the Coinbase Econ report. I mean, especially on Zekan's side, going 15-6, but I've been masterfully impressed with what Jing has been able to put forward on the attack sides. The question for me is, can Jing keep it going on defense? Because I think so much of Jing's impact is based on how he's able to find the timings as an entry player. And Zekan on the Neon is going to be really heavily supported again by Narrate and John. The double initiators and the style of Sentinels often puts Zekan as not just the tip of the spear, but the guy who's asked to do a lot and always does.
Ini lu nggak denger nih.
I think he's going to be a handful for PaperX to deal
Gue
with.
lagi nonton anjir.
See it reflected. I mean, he's 15-6 so far.
And going for the light armor buy here.
It's going to be a big face in the bottom of mid. This is going to be a brawl and a clash of potential bloodbath.
The pistols are a lot better for long-range fights on PaperX.
Yeah, it's Jing. Just waiting it out. He sees that cage. Sailing sky high, and it is walking contact plays, but a jump spot might have just ruined it all. Spoiled the surprise that Sen were going for. Maybe not. Gonna see it now. 3-2-1 and a swing for Paranoia to support from the side. This is PaperX are the ones ready to collapse. Still jumping around, just making sure that they can bait and play their teammates in. PaperX. Blinder of a pistol.
An ambush that completely caught the rest of Sen. And Celsius is getting bullied out of his position towards mid, pushed further and further away from the spike. And with only 45 health left, even a single body shot from Jing would take him down. Everybody on PaperX grouped up as well. Forsaken going for a little bit of information.
Sniffing him out.
But then goes for the wide swing of Jing. It is that body shot that delivers. A nice pistol round idea and good weaponry to be buying for it as well. mainly opting into the Sheriffs and Ghosts that are super effective at this kind of range.
Just dissected, don't they?
Now
you see the cage going overhead.
That's a gross beginning kill from Pac-Man. Didn't quite realize that he got that kill through the cage. But yeah, they couldn't have landed any better. Both teams going for mid, and a massive trap from Paper X. The spider waiting in the web.
Pistol round win should mean that Paper X brought up to even.
And I think it bears talking about that we saw Sentinels looking really dominant.
Tapi bukan masalah besar nggak sih, Tia? Ini kayak masalah sepele doang.
Quite a lot. It's now looking like absolutely anybody's game.
Yeah, step into the cage. Boss trying to face up, potentially set for taken up there with the judge. You're right, it is still anyone's game.
This round, though, I mean, massively favoured towards Paper X. An opportunity to build up towards some of these big ults.
Sentinels putting their bodies on the line here. There's no trade, obviously, with the slow place down. You can hear it. And a good reposition by Pac-Man. He's even getting the accidental kills. Devi's ready to help him by his side. Spikes in the middle of nowhere. Not retrievable here, so Zelsis. Again, it's the easy way or the hard way?
Well, who on Paper X wants to try to build up their ult? I think that's one of the key things that they should be thinking about. Looking towards giving it to Pac-Man, I would imagine. I mean, that defensive
30 seconds left.
Viper ult can change the course of the rounds, allow you access to defensive setups that you wouldn't normally be able to run.
Baru banget upload jam 6 dia upload udah 19 kaki.
As to where he puts his Viper wall. We see this one at the moment, but there's also a pretty common one that we're seeing teams run that goes through mid. He survives for a moment.
Desperate to
and they're looking to try to keep him alive.
He gets the plant down, he's still going to get value, so
yeah,
you have to kill him. There we go.
And you can still plant even if it's in the post round as well in order to get your money, so they did definitely have to deal with him there. In the end, they don't actually maximize the ults, I don't think, but it's not too shabby.
One enemy remaining. Last player
Clearly, Paper X have got a pretty good idea of what they want to be doing on the defense side of this map. A lot of it, as well, can come down to the retakes. This Sage Wall, really useful for that if you play off-site post plants. So Sentinels have got to think about how they want to set up the rounds in the first place, and then also how they want to play the posts. John holding this stun, ready for some kind of mid-fight. You're expecting Paper X to be doing something aggressive on their bonus round, or a trap play, some aggression.
Member, berarti gede dong.
Fault line held just in case. Slow orbs already going to be used. Why? Just making sure that they can slow down the inevitable approach, really. Sentinels are going at a bit of a glacial pace, but might be turning their sights up towards the top section of the mid. Fault line, no connection. Pac-Man not slowed down, not stunned up. Second, he's right in your face, and he's looking for the follow-up. Bank just can't get it. Then the wedging was placed.
That's rough.
Narrate, though, has found a bit of an opportunity and more. It's grasped it with both hands now. Full control of market and the front of the site now. Access for Sentinels.
Incredible play from Narrate to get them back in. Might have another.
Yeah.
Tapi ya, iya ya. Oke, gue udah nonton videonya full.
Deep seas flash in your face, gonna be blinded up, but he
has
complete control.
Ya udah nggak sih? Kayak Reverse aja bilang, oh stream step ini, stream step udah gitu doang, ngerti gak sih? Iya gak sih? Menurut gue mah kayak begitu, bukan yang kayak sampai beneran misa-misu. Kayak gini deh. Kayak kemarin tuh, si siapa ya? Patrick tuh. Satu game oke, 2 game oke, 3 game gue masih kayak ya udahlah, oke seharian ini gue di Q snipe sama dia. Dia di tim gue, bot frag segala macam, itu oke lah sehari. Kebesokan harinya masih ada anjing. Jangan sampai tas muncul.
I mean, Bang is walking into that angle backwards because he's worried about the other side of mid. He's worried about somebody pushing his own smoke.
Ya sampai tas muncul loh yang apa ya, kayak kalau nggak salah yang sampai nge-hide si tas deh. atau moderator gue ya. Nah itu baru tuh kebangetan anjing. Udah gue ingetin, udah stop, gak usah, gak mau gue ditabrak sama lu. Gue udah sampai kayak gituin. Nah itu baru tuh konten gorengan tuh. Batu banget dibilangin. Kalian mah kayak cuman sekali doang, ya udahlah. Gitu lah. Ya TTA aja berarti lawannya emang cupu gitu.
Divide winning that with a bulldog. Second swinging, nobody else to try to support narrate. So a little bit out of sync there, Sentinels.
Gue tim nyimak seru dilihat dramanya. Seruannya waktu itu gue di snap berapa game tuh, sampai gue terakhir-akhirnya di shock dart kan sama dia, sama orang yang nge-snap Q gue. Udah setim anjing tetep aja di troll. Wah gila itu. Sampai breaking character gue bangsat, kesel banget ngeliatnya. Sampai gue bilang, lu tuh kalau mau nabrak, seenggaknya lu jago anjing. Misalnya musuh nih, lu jago banget, terus lu bantai gue, nggak apa-apa, lebih masuk akal gitu loh buat gue. Ini udah nyoba nabrak gue, jadi tim gue ngetrol anjing, bot frag. Siapa yang nggak kesel? Gitu loh. Sampai gue ngomong gitu anjing.
They know that John's on the plant. Zelsis is defending somewhere.
Walking up now, steps up. That's a jump spot now. Spotting these players out. Slow walk. Way ahead of it.
Oh my god, Zelsis.
Takes matters into his own hands.
Beautiful round there from the emotional leader on Sentinels. Gets himself into a lurk through top mid.
Sumpah gue sampai breaking character gue ini anjing. Gue bilang, lu kalau udah nggak jago, udah nggak usah nabrak-nabrak anjing. Lu mau jadi musuh, lu dodge game-nya. Pas jadi di tim gue, lu mau setim, terus lu mainin kagak ngedodge, terus lu bot frag. Kesel. Mendingan lu nabrak gue, lu jago banget nih. Lu nabrak gue jadi musuh, terus lu bantai gue, lebih nggak apa-apa. Sebenarnya gue belajar gitu loh, gue lihat, oh ini orang jago kayak gini mainnya. Oh, oke. Misalnya nih kayak gimana ya waktu itu, Valdin jadi lawan gue, terus bantai gue. Oh ya udah nggak apa-apa. Oh ini POV lawan orang jago gitu loh. Kayak gue entertain sedikit gitu. Udah terlanjur ya. Dia bagian di tim musuh ngedodge, pas bagian tim gue nge-troll. Itu video kamu hapus juga yang di screenshot. Emang gue hapus? Enggak. Gue jadi member. Bagas ada di member.
Yeah, I don't think that was to the players, was it? I think that was to Mindfree.
Ini kultur pakai akun pribadi enggak. Ini kan Jing, Forsaken, Davai, Something, Patman. Ini rank Radian. Itu apa akun apak juga. Kalau main di Toronto beda lagi. Dia dari Riot akunnya.
2-round lead though for Sentinels, and they've got that economy advantage. Usually going to be converting into a round win, so.
We actually saw Bang take a really fast timing when they were on defense. It's Forsaken doing something similar.
Doesn't have a long range gun, it's just a Bucky. Looking to see if he can punish here. Plenty of players stepping up to that mark. Bang.
Hampir kena ya.
Okay, there was two players ready to receive him. Takes down the one. Zelsis is going to be out of action now.
One gap 2 round ini aman. Udah nyampe. Forsaken. Oh. Mahal.
Do a turn, spins. 180 all around. Second. Looking to receive a couple of bodies. Other end of his outlaw. Sight line is open. Spots him with a jump ping. Sets up jump for it.
Davai. Davai hampir, Pak. Hampir banget Davai clutch. Forsaken dengan Baki. Gila Cok, Forsaken Baki. Kok ada Radian dan Badi? Dia tuh pindah server ya, langsung Radian anjing ngekonnya. Real. Jadi dikasih sama Riot itu akun Ascendant buat pro player. Dikasih kalau nggak salah Ascendant, kalau nggak Immortal gitu. Terus udah dia mainin Radian langsung. Pas dia Ascendan, mereka mainnya 5Q, 5 stack. For second, Jing, Davai, something, 4 man nih. Berlima kalau mau cepat. Sampai Immortal nih semuanya lanjut gas sampai Radian. Tapi gue nggak tahu juga sih atau ini dari akun tahun lalu gitu. Yang jelas bukan akun mereka ini. Atau enggak emang akun yang dipakai buat master nih, semua skin, body itu udah unlock semua. Skin, skin, bodies, VP-nya 50.000 kalau nggak salah. Terus Radiant Night Point-nya juga 50.000. Jadi emang udah unlock aja semuanya. Tapi itu biasanya akun temporer. Anjay, Iron Gun body. Iya. Jadi body sama skin udah kebuka semua. Nice banget. Berarti skin-skinnya beli sendiri? Enggak, kalau dari nih misalnya yang kayak gua kemarin di ini ya, warnet Malang, itu udah disediain akunnya dari Riot, akun temporer, apa tuh VP-nya 50.000, Radiant Night-nya 50.000. Terus skinnya tinggal beli aja yang ada di store gimana. Cuman kalau misalnya buat pro player nih kayak gini, kayaknya skin sama badinya semuanya udah kebuka guys. Player card semua udah kebuka semua. Akun temporer namanya. Jadi abis turnamen ini close, misalnya Toronto udah kelar, akunnya udah nggak bisa dipakai lagi, di delete akunnya. Hampir meninggal deh.
Crazy play to make against a half buy.
But with Forsaken taking that timing down mid, I think what's now going through Sentinel's head is, well, who's defending A? Because usually it is Forsaken with a one-way on A, and that's allowed John and Celsius to just walk up.
Box mana
A
ya?
is being played pretty heavy for retake right now.
Belakang box mana lu ngomong? A side, B side?
They're so worried about A, the bang and narrate, the other part of the duo,
the push and the pull,
can just wander in.
They've got it now. The B side is theirs. The rate is the one with the spike though.
Side
Can't overstep too much, but
they really want to pick.
Di
They really
belakang
want to
box.
equalize numbers.
Di ini safe plan di pojokan.
They need something, but it's been spotted out here. Stinger in your hand, bang! Just about gets around the corner.
Now Celsius becomes the lurker.
Snake bite though.
That's an unlucky one.
A bit of a spam on top of it, so Bang's going to be found.
Yang di pojokan kan, di balik box pojokan kan. Nih, di sini bukan nih. Lihat kursor gue. Nih, di sini nih. Itu namanya safe plan. Biar aman aja, biar nggak mati. Tapi post plannya udah pasti susah itu kalau nggak dapet.
Paperx tapped for that one. They were hoping that it would pull out a bit of the big tools. And now running forward to try and take the play, and the Stinger cannot get it done. A lot pulled out of the war chest.
Udah ini tutup closing. Closing, saya mengantuk.
A silver lining.
Emang karena kurang tidur.
Might be to expend some of the defensive ultimates from Paperx. And yet Paperx come away without having to use a single one of them. Still 5 ults in the back for the defenders, and they creep ever closer to an even game.
Spike planted.
You can see what Sen were cooking. They thought if they expected the breach ult, after having killed Forsaken on the flank, maybe Celsius would be able to clutch. But it wasn't quite good enough. And now Kaplan, he's gonna look for his own input into this game. Sentinels take a tactical timeout to discuss what the next game plan should be. And I think you've got to realize at this point that Paperx have been playing A for retake. Like really passive retake setup. It's not even like they have a Cypher that's going to be giving them some information. There's not trips, there's not cam. They are just playing off-site A. And maybe they'll swap it up for the next round, but I would imagine Kaplan's got a bit of a read that's going to try to play with that.
Time is ticking here. It's Paper X.
Penyakit closing gila.
Driving factor, taking
Iya.
back number one. We're not in elimination territory, of course, but it will.
Tapi ini kan belum closing, masih 10-9. 10-9 Sentinel maksa beli. Lu lihat John Cutie. Duitnya berapa tuh? Oh enggak deng, gue kira no armor. Dia pakai regen armor. Vandal regen armor. Util full. Zelsis no yang Zelsis sudah ditarding gitu. Anjing. Gila, Jing sih menyala banget sih. Malam ini Jing gila guys.
Just chilling at this point, I think, is advantageous for Paper X. They can allow Narrate and John to leave because there's
kamu punya teman gak sih yang di Malang? Ada.
He's actually going for the info himself. If he had died there, wouldn't have been able to res Jeng. But all good. They get themselves into a two-player advantage. And again, by seizing control and tempo of the round with that fast dive down mid, a little bit reminiscent of what Forsaken went for previously.
Ada temen Alvin.
They've put themselves in a great
temen
spot.
gue di Malang namanya Alvin Crusher.
They did use
Crash R. Itu main tuh di Malang.
But as long as they can clean up John and Narrate, they will have crushed.
Maksudnya orang Malang.
Narrate and John tiptoeing, hoping that somebody will offer them a lifeline. Head on the chopping block, Patman. Not so likely. So I'm going to be caught by that seize as well. A bit of spam and straight bullets into the box, but no one watching for the back there.
Ya, 10-9. 10-10
here for Paper X. The guns out of the Sentinels players' hands.
Yuk, 3 round lagi yuk. Paper X yuk. Terus kita tidur.
To be honest,
Alvin yang Crash R pacarnya Zesia mantannya.
They raise ult down mid right at the beginning. They Viper ult into B main and they send the Sova ult all at the same time. Literally off barrier drop. Just decide to pop every ultimate that they have available. And Sentinels, their economy's not great. 4 players with light armor, 1 player with a stinger, but it's Zekan who still has his ult as a backup.
Nggak sih, map 3 janganlah, jangan map 3. Gue udah bilang ke penonton kalau misalnya ini sampai map 3, gue nggak nonton map 3, gue tidur. Nggak kuat gue matanya.
You can't afford to make mistakes at this point. If you are Sentinels, trip's going to be triggering Zelsis. You know the wise, you got to hear it now. The rumble of the footsteps in your face. He's primed and ready with the rifle in hand, trying to take that fight with the util. It's perfect. The timing could not be better. Zelsis wants a little bit more. Can he stun this push off from the flank? Divide!
Nice one, Divide!
This guy now taking control of the situation, but Sentinels still on the site. Bang! Remove something from the picture. In through the back, John.
Very decisive.
Taking care of Forsaken.
Making sure that they delete the players in front, so it's only Divide as a threat.
Save. Nah,
Walled himself off even from going towards elbow. So Sen, they persevere. It was a scrappy, chaotic round. I think Zelsis should be able to give them the information about how quick Paper X were down mid again.
Tapi Davai lagi konsisten sih mainnya. Kalau gue lihat, konsisten dia ngepick. Kalau gue lihat dulu.
The goal there was that it feels like only 1 player on the flank, and then Device able to come in unexpected. But because Zelsis instantly used Cypher ult, he just got perfect info as to where everyone was. Love this stun as well, by the way. Perfect from John. I mean, he has been great with these reactive vault lines. It's just that usually Jin's already got the kill.
1 enemy remaining.
11-10. Tension in the air. You can cut it with a knife at this point. Operator in the hands of Divide.
And he's looking at, is he going to try to wall up at the beginning?
Oh, this is going to be crazy, surely. What's he going for? Just a bit of a pre-fire onto the cam. Sentinels not slowing down at all. In through elbow. Stun connects. And a boom bot. Collateral damage in through. No damage to be dealt. Something is taking this alone. No coordination. Paper X getting antsy, getting frantic. It's up to Patman to see if he can contain and maintain the team's composure. Divide reinforces one of the gaps.
I mean, the pace of the whole game has increased. Patman finding Zelsis in mid as well, and now finally a breather. But there are so many gaps around the map that Paper X need to fill. Divide could get caught. The more aggressive he gets.
And as wall fades too, he's going to have to commit. Yeah, playing a further back line and angle. Too many unknowns on the map right now for PaperX, and it gives Sentinels free reign. Contacting, not necessarily something you want to do when you're going up against an operator, but...
There's also no smokes, so no matter what, they're going to be taking risks. It is going to be... There are always going to be openings for Divide to take this shot.
Divide posted, second guess is it. It's a one-way propped up on top of it. That's going to be the fault line. Clearing the way, on to a degree, but
30 seconds
entirety of the site now theirs, and there's a reflank occurring. PaperX from behind. Narrate's going to try and slow this one down. He's going to be buying it. At least time with the C's, and Narrate just peeks straight into it.
One enemy remaining.
The pincer maneuver is almost complete. It's just second left alone to try and pull off a miracle with a snake defeat. There's absolutely no chance he can win that one. 11-11.
There's a great call in this round from PaperX where they decide to double up and push mid really late in the round. They had no retake utility. And they had a snake bite and like a heal. That's it. And yet, they still, by putting two people on the flank and Divide just locking down angles with his off, managed to crunch Sentinels on the site. And the economy's not looking good again here for the America's team.
Mahal tuh. Alex tepuk tangan sekali.
Last minute decision to be made here, but again all in from Sentinels. Five players grouped up. 11-11.
Mahal tuh berarti roundnya.
The upper bracket on the
menurut
line.
Alex.
Everything is going A.
Full committal. Forsaken going to be retreating, trying to play a bit of a further back position. No one's watching his back in through the elbow angle. He's got a lot to account for here. Just trying to break some of that util as well, so it doesn't get cleared all the way out. And, wow, really just overstays onto the line. Second is gone. John QT was next.
Closing. 12. 12.
Put to bed, put to rest. And PaperX, eager for it now, hunting for that 12th round, getting cheeky with it in the process.
Lagi-lagi freestyle ya dari Dapa ya. Itu Span jatuh tuh di depan tuh. Jatuh tuh di depan.
But they can't put it together here on the attack side. PaperX were playing a retake. They cleared mid, looking for Zelsis in the mid round. They know exactly where he is now.
Doubled up, leaving nothing to chance. Time played, but yeah, with discipline like that. 12-11 now. And it's match point for PaperX.
This is a gorgeous angle. I mean, it's as far back as you could possibly get while still playing to defend that. And again, value out of the wall. Divide's always got these tricky little spots to work with. Sentinels
Udah
have been forced
13-11 guys.
in quite a few of
Saatnya
these
apa?
attack rounds. People with
Saatnya
stingers or bulldogs.
kita turu dengan
And now the money's just
nyenyak.
dead. It is just dead.
20 jam.
It's the final round, the last opportunity for Sen to stay in the upper bracket. And they're going to be working with odds and ends. A bargain bin thrift
Theo
store
kah ini?
buy.
Time out Sentinel kah?
Like Tony Stark in a cave. They got nothing. The recovery in this half has been amazing from PaperX. They made the right adjustment.
Kan?
Playing full retake A
Sen
for a
time
lot
out.
of these
Ini
rounds,
time out
and yet
terakhir.
still catching Sen as they hit the site. Playing just the right amount of pressure.
Ya lah nanti lawan wall sepele nggak sih guys wall? Buat PaperX mah sepele nggak sih wall?
The lower bracket you do not want to get sent into. The competition.
Nggak ada duit tuh. Iya lawannya nggak ada duit. Udah pusing tuh mereka.
Any sort of manner of
We lost,
you want
boys.
to avoid for as long as possible.
And look at the buy. I was alluding to it earlier. Second with a stinger. Narrate as well with Zelsis. And only a sheriff out here for John. The best weapon, bang with a bulldog. This one, it looks done, it looks chalked. How are Sen going to be
Stinger
able to
doang.
get this
Belum berpikir bahwa mereka G2 ah.
Heavy group up once more. This is all in from Sentinels, and it could just crumble at a moment's notice. Flash avoided. Jing is there, but he's going to be taken out. No one to deal with a haunt over the shoulder.
And that's
commits into it.
That's such a valuable weapon to upgrade to as well.
Rolling Thunder now, it's available. Lay siege now to the other side of things. But it didn't catch up to the buy. Propped up on the
He's been so good. He's been so good with these walls.
And now he's going for a little bit more. Slowed himself in the process.
Keuntungan Sage bisa nambah satu picking angle paling retard gara-gara wall lah.
Walkabouts is something himself. Smokes are going to be dropped down here. Patience is called for from PaperX themselves. Slow and close. Trying to play time. And bait out these shots potentially for them. The range is going to do a lot. Right now, with the stinger in hand, finally deals with it again.
Closing!
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 So damn unlikely. And it's up to the captain, it's up to John. Stinger in hand. Flash. He's got a bullet. The supplement. He's going to run him down. It's a full stack.
Tes tinggi anjing, lempar smoke di depan langsung diffuse. Gila. Gila, Jason gila.
What a end. A much closer map. But PaperX deserve all the credit there for being able to recover it towards the end and steal it away. A beautiful game from Jing especially, who was amazing in their attack half, but I gotta give a lot of credit to
Gila. Ini gila.
Top of those sage walls. Really nice stuff from PaperX here today, and they go forwards.
Marching forwards as well.
I mean, they're going to be meeting up with Bulls, two third seed teams that we're seeing here in the upper bracket final. Remarkable stuff.
Toronto just a tournament of unexpected moments. But they've earned their spot in that upper. They will be facing off against Wolves, and for Sentinels, they are sent tumbling down. I said it earlier, but it is a death pit.
It is, it's tough down there. Sentinels are going to be facing up against Fnatic. That is a really difficult game. Other end of the spectrum, you could argue, but you know, you go from playing against one team that Mini coaches and then against another team that Mini's previously coached. But yeah, big credit today to some of the timeouts too that Alex was taking. Adding a bit of a change up in style. This really is a different look for PaperX.
The evolution of PaperX. It's been astounding to see and watch. We're seeing slow play. Tempered moments all around here. You can't deny that they've earned their spot in the uppers. We're going to be sending it down to Yinsu. She's on the stage for that variety of post-match interview. Take it away.
Saatnya gue off stream di yang WP ini kita lanjut Python-nya, terus kita tidur ya. Gue ngantuk banget guys, parah. Parah jam tidur gue sih kebalik-balik sih guys. Udah kebalik, dibalik lagi. Hah? Saatnya kita istirahat.
With the craziness of all these times being the fan favorite?
It's just new to me, but I need to get used to it.
Are you having a nice time? Do you like this?
Alright, thank you guys. See you di Python. Bye.